I'm not apologizing for art.
Give this a quick watch. Let me know when it's open.
It's open.
I'll probably start moving soon. YouTube streams have a fair bit of delay.
And there
Okay.
you go.
Okay. And look at the healing numbers. It's kind of obscene.
Why is Jolt healing you for 49k?
There's a special ability in Eureka that you can activate that lets you heal. It says convert a portion of damage dealt into HP. If I remember right, it's 50%. So it converts 50% of all your damage dealt into HP. Duration 45 seconds, cooldown 1 minute. So with 75% uptime, you heal half of all of your damage dealt.
How on earth would you ever die?
You get hit too hard in one go, or it times at a bad time. Because the downtime, if you make a really gigantic pull, that time you spend running around assembling the enemies could potentially kill you. Anyway, yeah, that's that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a solo farm thing just because no one I know is online. I could probably find some random people to do stuff with, but I'm just chilling. Doodly doo. I'm fine.
So is Red Mage your main DPS class?
Yeah, as of February. It was Machinist before that. I started off on Dragoon, but I was kind of scared of doing melee classes and Savages as my first thing. Like, tanks are different from melee DPS. Melee DPS have positionals, like they have to be behind the enemy or beside the enemy for certain abilities, every single one. And so getting that position requirement while also not dying because DPS died is like just being fucking looked at funny, um, was kind of daunting to me. Like, oh fuck, I have to get out of the way of the boss while also trying to be on the side for this part of the rotation and the back for this part of the rotation is too much. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to start off a Machinist because there's no positionals, so you can move without casting, you can just keep on going, it's chill. So I started off a Machinist when I actually started raiding, and that kind of became my main, just because I played it so much. But then in February, my FC wanted a caster for their static they were forming. So I said, I know how to play Red Mage, I guess I'm going Red Mage. And then I actually started optimizing Red Mage at that point. So yeah, now I'm top 170 Red Mage worldwide, something like that.
That's ridiculous.
Not amazing, but not terrible either.
Oh, I guess I could unlock it pretty soon, actually.
Unlock what?
Eureka.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're 70, you can unlock it anytime really. Just go into the quest.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be like an endgame sort of thing you do once there's nothing else to really do, which is not a point you're at yet. So
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
even now, cause Bodja's gonna come out and Bodja's gonna be more current with like gear rewards that actually directly benefit you, it makes a lot more sense to use that instead once you have like not much else to do. Eureka will be like something you would do forever from now when you are finally done with like which I don't really see happening ever. I don't know if you'll ever even touch Eureka, just because you multi-class so much that getting everything you want in Bodza might eat most of your time. Most
Yeah,
of your
probably.
spare game time when there's nothing else to do efficiently, I should say.
Even then, the most efficient thing to do when there's nothing efficient left to do is practice, so...
Yeah. Like, I love Eureka, and the gear rewards I personally like the look of, like my Dark Knight's Glam. And there is a raid at the end, which is cool, but it's all just cool now that Stormblood's over. Nothing's like, oh crap, you actually get something that directly benefits purely aesthetics and good content, because it is fun once you make it to Pyros, the zone I'm in. Like you saw those fucking heal numbers. Gathering 5 million mobs and lifesteal tanking your way through it as a DPS feels fucking cool. I am specifically doing this because like part of the reroll system for Eureka was that you could reroll your stats on your Eureka weapon to be like. Let me actually just go show you. Let me go show you. Give me like 2 minutes to go grab some stuff from in game, and then I'll show you how the stat reroll system works. It's kind of busted though. So if they introduce anything like that, the boss show weapon's gonna be best in slot for like everybody, and you just have to get the right stats that you want on it.
Is it kind of like the anima step, except for instead of picking 2 stats, you get 4 stats, and then you roll for a bonus 5th stat?
Nah, in ARR, you would just get these books that were like little quest lines, and you just had to do the little quest lines with the books in order to get your anima weapon stats. Not anima, the ARR weapon, the Zeta weapon stats. In anima, like you saw, you use sand to pick your stats. In Eureka, it was different. Second expansion, I guess, third relic weapon. You instead have 4 separate rolls, or 5. I have to go check. I want to say it's 4. Alright, I'm there now, but it'll probably take a couple seconds for the stream to reach there. So you spend resources to roll stats. As you see, I have 4 different rules here. Correct? Once you get them.
Yeah, it's taking a while.
I have to Google.
Oh, there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so these are the rules. You have up to 5 lines. Your weapon starts off with only 1 line, and each time you re-roll it, you have a chance of unlocking the second line of stats. I'm at 4 right now. Once you unlock 5, you have all 5, and you just keep doing rolls. It's pure RNG. You farm for the currency that you need to do rolls, and you just keep on rolling. But that means that the total amount of maximum stat you can have is plus 200 per line, which means you could literally get 1,000 crit on a single weapon.
What are
Keep
so
in mind.
what
Keep in
effective
mind.
item level is that?
Keep in mind, even to this day, it wasn't until the latest best in slot weapon. If you're eye level 500 weapon, you don't have 1,000 substats, even with melds. You need to have the eye level 505 weapon in order to get 1,000 substats with melds. That's how.
So unless you can do the hardest raid in the game right now, this is the best in slot weapon.
No, it isn't, because weapons aren't just based on substats. You also have the weapon damage. I'm mousing over it now, but you won't see it for a bit.
Right.
The weapon damage is the most important part for pretty much everything. No matter, for every other part of your gear, the substats matter a lot, because the intelligence you gain can very often be outweighed by crit. So a lower eye level piece of chest armor with more meld slots might be better, because the intelligence loss is worth it for the substat gain. For weapons, it's different, because you have your weapon damage, which is what all of your spells, skills, OGCDs, everything scale off of first. And it's such a strong multiplier that even a gain of just one one weapon strength can usually outweigh a fuck ton of substats. Given that, when Shadowbringers was first released and the maximum eye level was 470, the Eureka weapon was still best in slot until you got to at least 460. So between level 70 and level 79, the Eureka weapon was the best in slot one. Keep in mind, that was never the case for ARR. The ARR relic weapon, by the time you hit level 52, there were better weapons out there. Same for Heavensward. It wasn't until you hit Shadowbringers where it's like, the last relic weapon was so busted that if you had a really good roll on it, it was your best in slot weapon till level 80.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's kind of insane.
Is it also to the point that it scales down better? Like if you're in like level 70 content, is that what you want to be rolling?
Yes, but you don't want all of the stats to be in a single one. You know how when you're melding gear, I'm not sure how much you've melded, but you know how there's like a total maximum amount?
Right.
When you're using extremely over leveled gear, I'm going to be particular about this, I'll explain the nuance later, but when you're using very over leveled gear, like I level 500, and you get scaled to like 300, what it basically does is it lowers you to the intelligence level of an I level 300 piece of gear, which is right, and then based on what substats you had on that armor, it puts you at that same cap that you see when you try melding materia. So it puts you at the stat cap. If you look at like your gloves when you try melding them, you'll see that I'm mousing over it now, but you'll see that all 4 substats have the same cap. For my current leg piece, it's 313 for all 4 substats: spell speed, direct hit, determination, critical hit. It's 313. So regardless of what happens, when I get scaled down from a super high level down to this, I'll get 313 of whatever things I have. Now, what that means for the Eureka Relic weapon is that since you have 5 different rolls, you can have 3 different stats, like at extremely high amounts, so that when you get scaled down, instead of having 2 substats maxed like everybody else in the game, you'll have 3 of them maxed. Which means the Eureka weapon is the best in slot weapon for any scaled content under 70.
I'll have to get one.
It's just anything scaled, it's the best in slot weapon for anything 70 or under. It's absolutely nuts. I'm just gonna keep on rerolling. God damn it. Still only have 4 stats. Once I get 5 stats, I can start rolling for good distributions. I want no spell speed. I want critical hit, direct hit, with maybe a little bit of determination.
Yeah, because you don't need spell speed for Red Mage really, because every other
I know.
cast.
Yeah, you don't want it. It's not the instant cast thing, because like in Eureka, you have haste, which are the best in slot pieces in Eureka. It's the only place where haste is a stat. And it ends up fucking with your GCD. The thing is, with Red Mage, you're trying to double weave between a lot of stuff, which means skill speed makes it tighter. And the worst part is, you have manification. Oh fuck, this is too much Red Mage stuff. TLDR, you have to have a certain amount of mana at a certain point in your rotation, and the more spell speed you have, the faster you're casting, so you end up with a crap ton of extra mana, which just goes to waste. So you really don't get a huge gain from all that extra spell speed. It doesn't make your overall rotation faster, it just means you get a few extra casts out, which isn't really worth it. If it actually sped up your rotation, it would probably be worth it, but as it stands, it's just pretty much never worth it.
Yeah, because it's not like you're going to be using your melee combo as soon as it's available.
Exactly, so it's like you're not really gaining a whole lot out of it, so it's not really useful compared to just having more direct hit, which will just make your melee combo still come up at the right time, but just do a fuck ton more damage.
Right.
Oh crap! It's almost time. How the hell did the time pass?
Something fun. Something.
Huh? Fun with friends. Friend.